Hello, hello, beautiful people. My name is Maylene, and I have been in the fashion industry for over 18 years. I've also started my own brand called Dragonfly, but I haven't done a new collection since about 3 years because I began working on a full-time freelance design job for a New York company, which gave me very little time for anything else. But now I am here to give you some valuable tips on how to start your own fashion brand. As often as I can, I will be tackling a topic that will break down and help you reach your goal. So grab a pad and a pen and whatever else you may need and make yourselves comfortable. Let's get started on today's topic. Labels, trims, and packaging. Before we delve into it though, please don't forget to subscribe, share with friends that could benefit from this or any of my other videos. I would totally appreciate it, and feel free to ask me any questions down below, all right? If you decide to start your own collection or you want the vendor to use your own labels, then it is essential to know their names and understand them. Labels are necessary as they include information, plus it showcases your brand's aesthetics. Here is a list of some trims, labels that you may need. First, we have the main label. This is one of the most important features in the labeling area. This is a label that not only carries the information about the manufacturer of the garment or accessories, but more importantly is the stamp of your brand, a great product branding tool. They could be woven or printed, and you can have a variety of surfaces and materials for it so that your product can stand out, as you can see here. Take a look at this image to note the different shapes they can have and their names. This depends on the look you're going for as well as which product it is for. Another one is care labels. They are simply crucial as it contains regular care information and instructions as well as the fabric content. Many different care labeling systems have evolved over the world. Sometimes even a particular placement is required. Some common locations, depending on the product, can be inside neckline, left hip, waistband, and such. It can be generic, but if you want it to be more upscale, you can also customize it to have the look and feel of your brand. Things to know about care labels that you might not have been aware of. Number 1, the country where the garment is sewn is the country of origin listed on the care label. Number 2, care labels must be permanently attached so that they are easily accessible to the consumer at the point of purchase. Number 3, the manufacturer or importer who directs production is responsible for the accuracy of care instructions. Number 4, there are 5 care labeling systems which are generally used on care labels. These systems are the international one, the American, the Japanese, and Canadian, and the 5th one is the European care label system. Then we have the next one, which is size labels. This one can be as an individual label on a product, or you could weave it into or print it onto the main label or care label. Here you must be careful in which form you add the size. Could either be letter or numerical, depending on the market you are aiming for. UK, Asia, US, they all have different formats. For example, in the US, for casual clothing, you can use the letter format, S, M, L, and so on, whereas in the UK, you would use numerical sizing. For example, 2, 4, 6, etc. If you are reaching out to numerous markets, I suggest you add a conversation on the label, as you can see here. The next one we have is a loop or flag label, which is a decorative label that provides brand identity as a design feature. It is a small label attached on the outside areas of a garment. And here you can see a few examples. It can be in different materials such as leather, rubber, fabric, and so on. The next one we have is a back patch. There's actually a name for the leather patch found on the back of jeans. They're known as JACRONS. They've been around for over a century. Research shows that Levi's was the first denim brand to begin using JACRONS on its jeans. In the late 1800s, the US-based denim brand introduced them in its denim overalls. The term JACRON refers to a small rectangular or square-shaped patch. In the past, they were made exclusively of genuine leather. Most brands today now use an alternative material for their back patches, such as faux leather or a blended synthetic material. Originally, back patches were created to protect against counterfeit, but now it is mainly to showcase a brand's creative direction and identity. And they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. And then we move on to hang tags. These are the labels attached to an article of merchandise, which usually contains the basic information about the item: size, price, brand, sometimes barcodes. And this is your brand recognition. The next one we have are price tags or price tickets. I guess the name is self-explanatory. This is the small tag that contains the pricing. Again, this might not necessarily be needed if you plan to maybe add a price sticker on the hang tag. Joker tags come next. These are most commonly found in the denim industry to identify the size and style of the garment. With the recent fashion trends, customers have utilized pocket flashers as a way to emphasize specific details in their garments. Joker tag is another type of printed tag which also describes the name of the company with its logo, UPC, fabric content, size, waist, length. In addition, you could use size stickers, but it isn't necessary. These are mainly used on bottoms, such as pants, skirts, and so on, that are a folded program, which means they're put on a table, and then you can easily see the size. Now we're moving on to hardware. This is all the metal that you would use as decoration or as closure on a garment or accessories. A rivet is a permanent mechanical fastener. It consists of a smooth cylindrical shaft with a head on one end. The end opposite to the head is called the tail. This is used to reinforce the jeans in areas where they have stress points or weak points, but modern stitching has made them also decorative. They can be in different sizes and even shapes and finishes. Finishes just means the colors of the metal. Coming up next, we have SHANKS, and they're basically a larger version of rivets. They have the similar mechanism, but more so as a closure for jackets and jeans. EYELETS versus grommets. What are their differences? In fact, there's just a very subtle difference between them. It's mostly about the ratio between flange diameter, the flange is the surface width, and hole size tends to be a bit larger in grommets, allowing their larger flange to grip more surface area and the material into which they're set. All right, now, other trims and things to take note of. MOBILON tape or clear elastic tape. This is ideal for stretch prevention on shoulder seams in knits, stretchy fabrics for shape retention in lace materials, and shoulder straps, especially for lingerie, or to gather sheer or mesh-like fabrics. Very, very useful. Buttonhole elastic. This is a great way to temporarily adjust the fit of a pair of bottoms. This buttonhole elastic is usually in the back of waistbands. It allows the back waistband to be pulled in an area that commonly gaps, leaving things exposed that shouldn't be exposed. Buttonhole elastics is perfect for the waistband in children's clothing and maternity. It is stretchy elastic that has buttonholes spaced at intervals. This makes it possible to attach the elastic to a button at whatever length you need it to be on both ends. Getting into more of a decorative labeling, we've got the embroidery and woven patch or cloth badge. They can be attached to pretty much anything such as jeans, jackets, t-shirts, sweats, sneakers, bags, shoes, and even phone cases. They can make you look anything from stylish and elegant to rebellious and bold. The weave of a woven patch is created with much thinner thread, just like a woven label. The thinner threads enable a tighter weave so there can be more detail in the artwork. The threads also provide cleaner lines and a flatter appearance, closer to sort of a printed look. As for an embroidered patch, the stitching is denser with a heavier embroidery thread. The threads make the patch feel thicker, also gives off a certain lift and three-dimensional look. Both embroidered and woven patches can have backing added to them, so to make them more of an iron-on with adhesive or Velcro backing. Then we've got fusible. The term fusible interlining is used to describe a base fabric coated on one side with a thermoplastic adhesive resin, which can be bonded to another fabric by the controlled application of heat and pressure. These materials, generally called fusible, provide the designer with several properties that can enhance the appearance of finished garments by the following. A. It controls and stabilizes critical areas. B. Reinforcement of specific design features. C. Minimum of modification to the handle of the top cloth. And D. It preserves a crisp and fresh look. In general, interlining are soft, flexible, and thick. They're made of cotton, polyester, nylon, wool, and viscose. Interlining materials are generally used in a collar, waistband, cuffs, jackets, outerwear plackets, blazers, skirt facings, etc. The next one we have are collar stays. Now this might be completely random, but you never know. There might be somebody out there starting a menswear line. Collar stays are flat, rigid pieces of metal or plastic that are inserted into the sleeves of the underside of your dress shirt collars. They work by keeping the collar smooth and flat. Using collar stays is like having a perfectly ironed collar that lasts until, well, you remove them. I'm sure you know all about zippers, elastic threads, and stoppers, so I think it's best I stop here, even though there are probably plenty of other trims I've yet to mention, but maybe for another time. I would love to hear from you and your story, so please feel free to add any comments down below and share it with our tribe. Any tips, any inspirations, any horror stories, or any comments about this video, I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share with friends that could benefit from this or any of my other videos. I thank you from the bottom of my heart and see you next time. Kisses. Bye.